Hello, everybody. Y'all ready to have a good time? I know I am. Freddy Fazbear. Oh, sorry, wrong thing. It's not Freddy Fazbear. It's Five Nights Camping with a Puppet. I have made my own book on this amazing app called Wattpad. You can read stories, create your own stories. Some are more questionable than others. Anyway,
You can also buy Dreamy's Mega Pack Cat Treats Tasty SM.
and yeah, so I made a short story called Five Nights Camping with a Puppet. It's not fully finished, but there's different parts. It is a short story about a couple of college kids going camping by the recently closed Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria and got a special visit by the wound-up wind-up music lady herself. It is a creepy FNAF horror short story. I have made two so far. I haven't finished that one, so I'm probably going to make a part one of day one, and yeah, let's see how this goes. Okay, campsite day one. Hello. My name is Christopher Faz, and this is a short documentary of the camping experience that was experienced by me and my group of friends, with few survivors, that took place on the 17th of August 2017, 1708-17. Also recorded as 1708. It is now commonly told as the campsite with a puppet. It fully started on the 10th of August 2017. It was supposedly going to be a week trip between the students with the highest grades. Me, my friends Mark, Alexis, and James were chosen for our exceptional grades in biology, so we decided the place of the nearby field by Freddy Fazbear's. Well, at least a recently closed Freddy Fazbear's, that is, by all choosing a destination for our research trip. We all chose locations across the globe to try and find fascinating creatures such as insects, animals, and maybe even fish. Mark chose a small campsite in Japan because he was always interested in their culture and was a huge geek and loved Yu-Gi-Oh! He also figured he can try and finally get a specimen of the exceptionally large Japanese hornet. James chose a large camper van site with all sorts of attractions because he loved outdoor activities, but loved sports the most. His favourite was tennis because he always said it got his blood pumping and always heightened his senses, ready for anything. Alexis chose a luxury resort, also in America, because she wanted to see Hollywood and the Pharofosa blondie, more commonly known as the Goliath bird-eating tarantula, because of its unnatural size and combat abilities. I wanted to visit the nearby Freddy Fazbear's Pizza because I've always been a fan of the supernatural, so the bites of 87 and 83 always fascinated me, and I've always wanted to get a colony of the sweetest umbrella sands from the UK for myself. As we were arguing about where to go, our teacher, the one taking us on the trip, Mr. Radborn, walked in and tried to help us decide. As Sir was talking, Alexis and Mark were arguing over who's smarter in biology, so Sir came up with the most brilliant idea. He proposed a quiz of sorts. He would describe an animal, then we would have to guess it. There were 7 rounds, and now a tie between me and Mark. I was at 4, Mark was at 4, Alexa was at 2, and James was 1. Me and Mark had a final round, but this time it was something I was more familiar with. It was a final question on ants, and I instantly nailed the question. We were heading to Freddy Fazbear's. We were on our way to the destination, which took a couple of hours, but we finally arrived in the UK and took a bus, which took a couple more hours. We stopped for snacks, because Mark, James, and I were all starving. We went to one of the UK's most popular snack areas, Greg's. Alexis also grabbed some food, but only a packet of crisps. I knew that would buy her in the back later. We arrived at the field near Freddy Fazbear's and set up camp where we would stay for the next 5 days and 5 nights. We were setting up camp at the nearby field, and we finished setting up at around 9 p.m. We decided we would start to tell stories around the campfire, till we all decided to go to sleep at 11 p.m. Everyone fell asleep because we were all tired except me. I could not stop thinking about the abandoned pizzeria. I was awake for a few more hours just thinking about what happened and why it closed down. I wanted to go check it out, but it was late and I was too tired, so I was going to wait till tomorrow. That is part 1 of my story. Not the most horrific, but part 2 will get a bit more interesting. This is just the campsite day 1. Part 2 will be out shortly, and if you want to follow me, this is my profile. You're able to follow, read their stories and stuff. I am Sir Lucifer. Sadly, because I didn't allow a dot. Sorry. Sorry about that again. And yes, this is my account. If you want to go follow. And this is all I've got so far. And remember, it's called Wattpad. You can search for things. Although I would be careful about what you search. If you want to read a FNAF story, be prepared for the worst. Like, why are there so many FNAF? We're going to ignore that. Anyway, yeah, so it's okay as long as you write decent stories and not concerning ones that make you want to cry. So yeah, go check it out. And if you want part 2, then just tell me in the comments, I guess. Adios.